Hey everybody, it's Eddie J on crypto. I hope you're having a good one. So my last video, I made a big mistake. I actually showed you my notes, which is not really all that bad, right? It shows that I actually get out here and I actually do the research every single day and I share it with you. So check out my last video. It's pretty interesting. Anyway, let's get started. Let's take a deep dive. New York state regulators are saying that their investigation and closure of Signature Bank had nothing to do with their crypto transactions, which is interesting because the US DOJ says their investigation had everything to do with crypto transactions at Signature Bank. Something to be noted is that Barney Frank, yes, of Dodd-Frank, had lobbied. He's actually on the board of Signature, well, was on the board of Signature Bank, right? They got closed. But he actually lobbied for Signature Bank and other regional banks to have relaxed Dodd-Frank rules, meaning, again, $50 billion was the old rule, and they bumped it up to $250 billion. Last time I checked, that's a lot of money to not be regulated. Anyway, next step up, one of my closest friends, Carl Aridas, he's a big time financial analyst. You can read a lot of his articles on LinkedIn. He says that we should be paying attention to, and I'll read you the list: First Republic, Western Alliance, Zions, Comerica, and UMB. Excuse me. And why? It's because they also have crypto exposure, and it's something that we should all be paying attention to with regard to these smaller banks and how they actually move their money and move their investments. Now, on top of that, Saudi Arabia has come out and said we're not going to invest a single additional dime into Credit Suisse. That sent Credit Suisse and other European bank stocks tumbling in a major fashion. Right now, you have the Dow implied open at 509.40. It was as low as 554. So something else to be paying attention to, as frankly, not contagion from United States spreads, but contagion from Credit Suisse spreads overseas. Something else that I'm paying attention to is a report that's about to be released by the US Treasury Department that looks at the role of decentralized finance, or DeFi, in illicit transactions, looking at how North Korean hackers were able to use DeFi to actually launder their stolen funds. Now, that's not to say that there is not a way to do the same with traditional finance. They're just saying, hey, look, listen, this can happen. Now, by pointing out that something like that can happen, hopefully the industry can respond and hopefully fill in those holes, right? So that's something to pay attention to. Now, I want to call out a statement by Cathie Wood, not a statement, but a post by Cathie Wood, and I will read it to you because in a single tweet, she captures everything that I say, right? Quick. While the U.S. banking system was seizing up in response to bank runs threatening regional banks, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other crypto networks did not skip a beat. Instability in the banking system threatened stablecoins, the on-ramps to DeFi, in stark contrast to regulator rhetoric. Let that wash over you for a minute. Just let that wash over you for a minute. The woman is very, very smart. She's been making crazy smart moves. People have been thinking, oh, she's making crazy moves and yeah, it'll never work out. Yeah. Now they're looking at her and going, wow, she really was ahead of her game. And now everybody's trying to react to what she did versus what they did. But what she's saying is very, very important. The banking industry took a major hit with Silicon Valley Bank and Signature Bank. Now they're taking a hit overseas with Credit Suisse, possibly Deutsche, and other banks having issues. But Bitcoin and other cryptos like Ethereum are not skipping a beat. That's what I'm talking about. Crypto was created in response to the banking system. The banking system doesn't seem to be able to sustain itself with its current practice model. Now, I'm not saying that banking is bad. I'm just saying that its current implementation could be made better. Now, when I look at crypto and I compare that to CBDCs, I'm going to side with crypto. CBDCs will have their place, the digital dollar, digital, whatever it is that you're playing around with, digital real, all that good stuff. That's a way for the government to actually continue to control money, but even more tightly, because now they can go to your digital real and say, oh, that's worth nothing now. Everybody else is worth something, but yours is not. We're going to stop yours in your account. So for me, I'd rather be in crypto. It's dependable, it's decentralized, it's transparent, it's auditable. You can audit crypto transactions easily. So it's something I pay attention to. Just saying. In my research, that's what I'm interested in. Okay, I'm interested in the strength and transferability, interoperability, usefulness, and ease of use of crypto. As more and more people become, knowledgeable about crypto and stop listening to the FUD that's out there about crypto and start paying attention to the facts, you're going to see adoption continue to take off. Anyway, next story. Halborn, a crypto security firm, has found an exploit that if a simple GET address message is sent, hackers can actually take control of nodes on a network. 280 networks are affected by this, including Litecoin and DOGE. So hopefully they get these things patched, but on unpatched nodes, they can be exploited and taken control of. That's something to can be considered. All right, be careful out there and pay attention to what's being leveraged. And I'm expecting DOGE to drop. I'm expecting Litecoin to drop over this news and how that news proliferates around the world until they fix it. Now, something else I'm paying attention to is Coinbase. Brian Armstrong came out and said it straight up. Listen, the collection of fees is volatile. I can make a lot of money in fees. I can make a little money in fees, but it's the constant up and down, up and down, up and down environment upon which fees exist. Now, when you look at that, he says Coinbase is looking into other ways to make money. Makes sense, right? So it makes sense that the story I reported yesterday that they are looking into adding neobank features to their platform would be ridiculously interesting, either to their platform or opening up a neobank. That would be ridiculously interesting. Why? Because Kraken Bank is coming, right? They're going to open up their neobank. Obviously, crypto specific. I would be thinking that Coinbase is going to do the same. Coinbase is also given an example of how fees are going to wind up diminishing or going away because they just cut a deal with Standard Chartered in Singapore to allow Singaporeans to actually on-ramp and off-ramp their money for free. So that's not a transactional fee, but it's an example of fees where they did make money from that they're demonstrating can and will go away. So as I look at how, central exchanges work, these are the things I'm paying attention to. All right. Now, going back to Signature Bank, remember, Barney Frank was on the board of Signature Bank. He was also one of the people that got out there and said, listen, we should relax the Dodd-Frank rules for Signature Bank and other regional banks from $50 billion to $250 billion. That's what happened, and this is where we're at. Anyway, we should take a look at the numbers because they're pretty interesting today. Now, let's actually, let me refresh these numbers, just so you can see what's going on. But they're pretty much intact. So we don't have a lot of losers. You do see Nexo that is down 7%. You see Helium is down 6%, and that's, I believe, because they're going through delisting on certain centralized exchanges. That's actually a big deal to see HNT, going through that, because I thought they might do well, but yeah, no, they're falling off in a major fashion. Is there anybody else on this list? Monero is down 3%, so that means nothing because I have a 5% rule. If 5% is not up or down, is not where you're at, then I'm not going to pay attention because the market that I'm looking at, which is crypto, is so volatile that that 5% swing in either direction can change in a heartbeat. Now, when you look on the other side, You've got Harmony that's up 10%. Render is up 10%. Zilliqa up 10%. Let's see, who else am I paying attention to? Nervous Network up 11%. Tezos 11%. Gala is up 13%. Yes, I do like Gala. They're a crazy strong gaming platform in the metaverse space. You should be paying attention to that because they've got some big time executives that are involved in that project. Go do your research. I think you'll really like it if you like gaming. And also if you make money. Fetch AI is up 16%. Why? Because it's got AI in the name. And AI, Microsoft just released ChatGPT 4, not Microsoft, but OpenAI just released ChatGPT 4. Google came out with a whole bunch of API integrations with their products. So everybody's heating up in the AI space, and that includes SingularityNet, which is up 33%. These are things that we should be paying attention to. These are possible money makers as you move forward. Anyway, let's get deeper into the money. Ethereum's count is down by 64,000, almost 64,000 and a half ETH. That is deflationary. That means there are less ETH in the market than was before. That makes ETH a scarce commodity as we continue moving forward. Pay attention to these things because these things are good. Obviously, yesterday we got the CPI numbers. They were good. That helped to send the market up. Fear and greed index, though, we're back in neutral territory at 50, right? So 50 out of 100, you're in neutral territory. Not greedy, not fearful, just kind of sitting in the middle, watching things go over because there's a lot of mixed bag of events going on. Bad banking, good crypto, just a lot of things going on. AI heating up. A lot of things going on, and I should be making an announcement about Rebel Reach, my web hosting platform, later this week, and what we're doing with AI and how it can be helpful to small businesses. That's going to be a lot of fun. Looking at total value locked, we're looking at $65 billion, almost 66. That's a good thing because it was down. Now it's up. Hopefully it'll keep going up. Now, something else that we're paying attention to is the idea that we are back above the 23,417 number that I keep harping on. That's that blue line right here. But we also did go above 26,000 yesterday for a little bit, a tiny little bit, and then came down below that 25,210 number that I told you about. So we should be paying. Actually, you know what? I should mark that right there. There you go. Draw a horizontal line. It's nice and green. There you go. So when I look at this, we have to sustain above 23,417 for an extended period for me to believe that we'll be able to bust through 25,210 and go as high as 30. But I think we've got some time before that happens. So what am I doing? DCA, dollar cost averaging. I'm using the time to my advantage and keep getting in with a standard amount of money every week as I look at my investments. And I do this across my whole investment portfolio and not just crypto. And I also look at my cash holdings specifically for crypto and do the same thing in that calculation. Now, when I look at 26,538, I'm sitting there, I'm going, that's the new latest high. The high before that was 25,210. Now you know why I'm paying attention to those numbers. After that, you're going to have 28,28. After that, you're going to have 31,579. So again, we must maintain above 23,417 if we are going to see that higher bounce, all right? People are looking at numbers like 25,000 or 27,000. I'm looking at specific numbers. I'm not a TA, but I do pay attention to certain things. I also pay attention to what the volatility is. All right. Cryptocurrency in a big picture is at 24,492 for Bitcoin. It's showing red right now, but it's really actually up, in terms of past couple of days. 16,772. Earlier this morning it was at 1676. These are the things that I'm actually, paying attention to as well. Matic is up at $1.18. It was as high as $1.22 yesterday. I'm looking at gradual and sustained gains as we move forward. Anyway, this is Eddie J on crypto. If you have any questions, want me to research something, want my kids to dig into something, drop me a note, let me know. Maybe I can learn something and share my research with you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.